Let's get in then to the latest mock draft. Post-lottery edition, the Phoenix Suns. They have the number 1 overall pick. And Harris, they're going with my boy here, Luka Doncic, number 1 overall. Sign me up. I love it.
Yeah, not a huge surprise here. As soon as they get the number 1 pick, that's who we thought was going to go.
They have his coach.
Yeah, they have his coach. It's set up for him perfectly to come in. We have him listed as a shooting guard. I think he can also play the point in the NBA. He's not necessarily a pass-first player, but he's a big-time playmaker. He can shoot. He can come off screens. He's a fantastic overall player. I can't wait to see what he does in the NBA. You have to remember, I know he's coming from Real Madrid. I know that people kind of look down a little bit at international prospects, especially when they come from a league like La Liga, but you need to understand that what Luka Doncic has been able to do as an 18-year-old in international basketball is ridiculous. Kristaps Porzingis did not put up these kind of numbers when he was playing internationally. Luka Doncic is setting all kinds of records for an NBA draftee with the amount of numbers he's putting up. He has dominated Eurobasket. He's done a great job internationally as well. He was great during the Olympics and also at the Junior Basketball Championship. I can't wait to see what Luka Doncic does in the NBA. This has been a long time coming, and I think with the Suns, it's a perfect fit.
All right, so the Suns there take Luka Doncic in our latest post-draft lottery mock draft. Let's take it then to number 2 overall, where it is the Sacramento Kings, and they find their big man DeAndre Ayton out of Arizona, Harris.
Now, I like this a lot because I think the problem that you're going to have with Bagley or Ayton is really knowing where to play them in the NBA. Personally, I think DeAndre Ayton is perfect as a 4 next to a defensive 5. This way, it takes a little bit of pressure off of DeAndre Ayton to really take the next step as a defender. He can focus a little bit more on his offense like we know that he really wants to do. But overall, I'm telling you, this is a huge, huge pick for the Kings. De'Aaron Fox with DeAndre Ayton. Whether or not you believe in DeAndre Ayton as a defensive player, what he's able to do on the offensive side of the ball is absolutely special. He is an incredible player on the boards, also with his ability to really just score in the post. I have his player comp and also his ceiling. He can be as good as Patrick Ewing if everything works out in his career. I also think he's going to get the right point guard in order to be able to get him to his fullest potential. A pass-first playmaking point guard. Perfect for DeAndre Ayton with the Kings.
All right, so the Kings there take Ayton at number 2 overall. Let's take it then to number 3 overall. This pick held by the Atlanta Hawks. They find a big man as well, Marvin Bagley out of Duke.
And that makes a really fun combination between him and John Collins. I think they're going to help each other a lot. They play to each other's strengths. I think Bagley's a better defender than people give him credit for. He's a little bit slow in terms of switching and also playing off the ball. But I think what he's able to do in the post, I think he's going to add a little bit more muscle. But his offensive abilities down low, comboing with what John Collins is able to do as an aggressive playmaker, especially as a 4, is going to be great. I think that Bagley as a 5 in the modern-day NBA is a great fit for him. I think it's going to force him to take a little bit more of a jump shot and learn a little bit more how to play around the elbows. It's a good spot for him. I personally think the better place for him would have ended up being the Kings, but the Kings are going to take the better overall big man, and that is DeAndre Ayton.
I'll give you a tease right now here, folks, that these players, we're on a little bit of a little, how we say, a mini big man rung as we go through these teams right now. Let's get then to number 4 overall. At number 4, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. They slid down more than they were expecting to go. Jaren Jackson out of Michigan State, who I get why people like him, but I do value production at the college level, and Jaren Jackson doesn't really have that, Harris.
See what I'm talking about with why it's so bad that the Grizzlies fell to 4? Because now all of a sudden
I would rather have Mo Bamba.
Exactly. Jaren Jackson, Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter, Trae Young, Michael Porter. Like, who do you go with after the top 3? It's literally whoever you like the most at that time and whoever fits best with your team. I like Jaren Jackson. I think he has some incredible overall potential. For whatever reason, Tom Izzo just didn't use him in March Madness, which was super weird because you could tell the entire time that they needed another elite level prospect with his kind of length on the floor, and they just didn't use him. But I think that Jaren Jackson is going to be a good NBA player. But my biggest issue with him, there's a huge amount of bust potential with him. He could end up doing absolutely nothing in the NBA. That is totally on the table.
I am often concerned by big men. I think their transition is often harder. So Jackson's limited production there. He's
also not exactly – he's a good defender, but I don't think he's a great enough defender like a Wendell Carter Jr. to really make up for his needed growth on offense.
So the Grizzlies take Jaren Jackson at number 4. I saw a comment about number 5 saying that he thought the Mavs would take a foreign guy. At number 5 overall, You, my friend, are inaccurate. It is Mo
I love
Bamba,
this.
the big man out of Texas.
Perfect for him.
He's Nerlens.
Well, he's Nerlens with a jump shot. He actually has a better jump shot than people give him credit for.
And not a head case.
Exactly. I think that Mo Bamba is going to be a good NBA player. I don't know how good he's going to be, but I know that he's at least going to be a starter in the NBA. If you're telling me that Mo Bamba could end up being as good as Willie Cauley-Stein, I completely believe you because I think he's going to be a good defender in the NBA. He's going to block a ton of shots. He's got these crazy long arms. Mo Bamba is what people think Thon Maker is. Thon Maker is a very weird NBA player. Sure, he can block some shots, but he can't really do anything else. Mo Bamba has that offensive versatility. He can score from the post and also has a little bit of a jump shot. He's very young. He's so tall and is so long. Mo Bamba has a ton of potential. I think him going to the Mavs would be a great fit. You better believe that he's going to learn that fadeaway jumper from Dirk if he goes there. He's the perfect body type for what Dirk likes to teach with those guys.
So if you're just now joining us here on Facebook, in our latest post-lottery mock draft, the Suns took Luka Doncic, Kings take DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley goes to the Hawks, Jaren Jackson goes forward to the Grizzlies, and the Mavs take Mo Bamba, who I agree with here. I think he'll be the guy that they hoped Nerlens Noel was going to end up becoming for them. So those are your top 5 draft picks. Let's keep it rolling here in our post-draft or post-lottery mock draft here at number 6 overall, Harris. And this is where we kind of get a little bit more fun. The Magic take Trae Young. They snipe him from the Cleveland Cavs.
Oh, do you know what that means?
Trade?
That means that Trae Young is going to be bad, and that makes me really upset. But no, in all honesty, I wouldn't be too crazy about this pick. I think for the Magic, it's always about taking the best player available, and Trae Young would definitely be the best player available. He would certainly sell some tickets, and that's definitely what the Magic need. They definitely need someone who can sell some jerseys and also get some butts in seats. But I'm a little worried about Trae Young's overall outlook in the NBA. I think he could end up being kind of like what you said, as a J.R. Smith kind of player. He's going to be able to hit jumpers in the NBA. I just wonder about his other level of playmaking ability. Is he good enough as an overall point guard to lead an offense? Is he good enough overall as a defender to stop some of the better players in the NBA, especially a point guard? This is one of the best eras of point guard that we have seen maybe in the history of basketball. Can Trae Young defend enough, especially in the Eastern Conference with the likes of a Kyrie Irving and a Kyle Lowry as well? Can he hold up on the defensive side of the ball to be a legitimate NBA threat?
So Trae Young goes number 6 to the Mavs in our post-lottery mock draft. Take it then to number 7 on our mock draft here with the Chicago Bulls pick. They have selected Wendell Carter Jr., give them a defensive big, which I think you like that one.
I like that pick. I also would have liked one of the Bridges here, give them more of a wing guy, but I like the Wendell Carter pick a lot because my player comp for him is Al Horford. I don't think he's ever going to be a stuff the stat sheet kind of guy where he's dropping 25 points and 16 rebounds and 7 blocks, whatever it is. Wendell Carter Jr. is very similar to Al Horford in the fact that everything he does, you see in maybe the most important number in basketball, the plus minus. He might be struggling offensively, but he's such a good defender down low that his plus minus is still going to be one of the top numbers on the team. He's going to be a kind of a advanced statistics kind of player in the NBA, and that's fine for the Bulls because I don't know if they necessarily need another pure scorer. What they need is a consistent performer on the defensive side of the ball. Robin Lopez is a good defensive center, but he's getting a little bit old, and I think this also helps shore up Lauri Markkanen, who isn't the best defender. It also gives them the option of going small with Markkanen at the 4 and Wendell Carter at the 5. The only issue I have with this pick is the fact that Carter won't be starting for them, but he's still a good player for the future.
All right, so Carter goes number 7 overall to the Chicago Bulls. At number 8, it is the Cleveland Cavaliers. After missing out on Trae Young, they take Michael Porter out of Missouri. Maybe some insurance if LeBron leaves.
This is the LeBron James insurance. And for a lot of people, Michael Porter Jr. might still be the most talented player in this entire draft. It just really remains to be seen. What is he going to be like in the NBA after that spinal surgery and the injuries that he's gone through in his college career? He is an incredibly good player. He can score at an impressive clip for a guy his size. He's a good passer. He's a good rebounder as well. He's a solid overall player. I think he's going to be a good NBA player, but the real question is, what is he going to do after that injury? It ruined his entire last year in college. He looked slow and sluggish when he came back in the SEC tournament. He was a non-factor in the one game that Missouri played in March Madness. So what Michael Porter Jr. is able to do do in the NBA remains to be seen. But if he's going to go anywhere, going to Cleveland's a good spot.
All right, so the Cavs take Michael Porter Jr. number 8 overall. We'll take it then to number 9 here on our post-lottery NBA mock draft. It is the New York Knicks, and at number 9, they have taken Mikal Bridges out of Villanova. What do you think of that one?
Love this pick. Slam dunk. 10 out of 10. Great pick for the Knicks. Why? It fits exactly what they need, and it's a good player for them going forward. Mikal Bridges, a very similar player in a lot of ways to an Otto Porter. I don't think he'll ever be, a 20 to 22 point scorer in the NBA, but I think he could end up being somewhere between 17 and 19, giving you good defense on the wing and also being a decent rebounder as well. He's also a very similar player to a Tim Hardaway Jr., who's obviously on the Knicks right now. So Mikal Bridges, good pick, safe pick, another way that the Knicks can grow without blowing up the entire team and blowing up the salary cap. I also think he combos very well with Kristaps Porzingis. His versatility will allow them to play him at either the 2 or the 3. I actually think that with the proper coaching, he could be a very similar player to a Jaylen Brown. I don't know if he has the aggressiveness and the overall just freak athleticism, but in terms of play style, you could see something similar.
You take it then to number 10 overall, the Philadelphia 76ers, and one that kind of surprises me, Harris, Colin Sexton.
This is an interesting pick.
Is this the T.J. McConnell down-the-road replacement player?
This is called T.J. McConnell is either going to get a huge contract this offseason or they're going to trade him. But Colin Sexton, for me, he's just a great player to have on your team. He's an unreal competitor. He's a fiery basketball player. He loves getting in people's faces. There was that crazy game this year where Alabama had like 2 or 3 people on the court, and he was one of them, and he put up 40 points and just dominated. I think they still won that game. It was crazy. He is an unbelievable competitor. I think he's going to be a great locker room guy for the 76ers. Watch out for Colin Sexton in the NBA. I think he's De'Aaron Fox without like a little less speed and a little more scoring prowess. This dude has it all. A little bit upsetting to see him go to a team where he won't be starting, but at the same time, great value for the 76ers.
For those of you watching on Facebook that missed the draft lottery reveal live here on Facebook, here were the results. The Suns got number 1 overall. Kings, Hawks, and Mavs. Kings were the big leapfroggers in this lottery results here. Mavs went number 5 overall, or got number 5 overall, excuse me. Magic at 6, Bulls at 7, and then chalk. Cavs, Knicks, Sixers by way of the Lakers and Celtics. The Hornets at 11 are not Celtics, but by way of the LA Lakers did not go to the Celtics. Hornets at 11, Clippers at 12 and 13, and Denver then at number 14 overall. Today's show is brought to you by the Game Time app. Check them out at chatsports.com/tickets. It is the only way to go if you're trying to buy NBA playoff tickets or baseball tickets now that is in season.
Yeah, I've gone to a couple Rangers game down here using the Game Time app. I've used the Game Time app now for going on a half a decade. I love this app. It's always the cheapest tickets. Take it from me. I've literally been using this since before I was in college. It's an amazing app.
All right, folks, so we'll take you here to number 11 overall pick in our latest post-lottery mock draft here in just a second. Again, a big thank you to Game Time for coming along on today's show. So at number 11 overall then here, we have the Charlotte Hornets, and they go with another little two-way player, Miles Bridges.
I like this pick a lot. I think Miles Bridges is going to be a good NBA player. I don't think he's going to be a tremendous player, like a every year all-star, but he's going to be a really solid player. This pick would also be the Hornets telling Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, hey, get good or get gone, because we're bringing in a guy with a lot of leadership ability, a lot of fire, and a lot of ability. I think he's a bit of a tweener, but the good news is that in the modern-day NBA, tweeners are good. I think Miles Bridges has an ability to shoot from 3 that for a guy of his size is very valuable. I think at the low end, you could see Miles Bridges end up being a player like a Bobby Portis, who doesn't really blow you away but isn't a decent bench guy. But at his top, he could end up being a starting caliber player on an NBA Finals team. I'm serious. I think Miles Bridges can be one of the better players on your team if you're trying to make a run for a championship. But I'm a little worried how much pressure this would put on him to perform instantly. I think he needs to go to a team maybe like the 76ers, who are winning now where there isn't so much pressure on him. There will be a lot of pressure on him to perform in Charlotte.
All right, so the Hornets there take Miles Bridges at number 11 overall. Into number 12, we got back-to-back Clippers picks here. With their first pick, they go Robert Williams, the big man out of Texas A&M. Player comp for you have is Larry Sanders, exclamation point.
Yes, Larry Sanders with an exclamation point. This is your DeAndre Jordan, insurance. Obviously, same school, both coming out of Texas A&M, ha ha ha. But Robert Williams is a good player. I'm worried about how he's going to be able to score in the NBA. He's long, he's big, but he doesn't really have a lot of prowess around the rim. Great rebounder, great defender. Whether or not he can score, like I said, remains to be seen. But this would be a good pick for the Clippers. Again, they're just trying to get young talent at positions that they're old. And I'm not saying DeAndre Jordan is old, but when it comes to Robert Williams, he's going to be a guy that can come off the bench and give DeAndre Jordan a rest and not lose any defense.
Let's get to the next Clippers pick then. At number 13 overall, they go big, then they go guard. And at number 13 overall, they've taken Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a.k.a. SGA.
I really like this pick. Now, credit this pick, if not SGA, will be Colin Sexton if Colin Sexton's on the board because he's the perfect Doc Rivers point guard. But after that, SGA is another perfect Doc Rivers point guard. A lot of athleticism, a lot of ability.
I like this kid.
Don't really know if he's going to be able to score in the NBA, but he's got so much potential and talent. The length that he can bring to you as a point guard and his defensive ability reminds me a lot of Tyreke Evans coming out. Now, Tyreke Evans was more of a shooting guard-ish forward player, undersized 3, but Shai is going to be able to play in the NBA, whether it's just as an overall defensive player or as a versatile shooter. He's going to be fun to watch in the NBA. I think this would be a great landing spot for him. He can sit behind Milos Teodosic for a year and also as well Patrick Beverley. Get a little more defense, a little more just passion in there for SGA, but I think going to Doc Rivers is a great fit for SGA.
One final pick then in our post-lottery NBA mock draft. At number 14 overall, the Denver Nuggets. We got them taking Kevin Knox. I like that pick.
I do too.
Fit a lot.
I have his player comp as Paul George. Now I want to preface
peak
this.
Upside.
That is his ceiling. His ceiling is Paul George. I think that he has the defensive abilities, the length, and the potential as a shooter to get to that someday. I think it's more likely than not that he actually ends up being a very similar player to current Nugget Wilson Chandler, who's a good NBA player. He can score at a decent clip. He can defend a guy if you need him to, and he's going to give you 14 to 17 points per game a year. That's what Kevin Knox is going to bring you, and that's a good NBA player, especially for a Nuggets team that, frankly, it doesn't need any more stars. They have Jamal Murray, they have Gary Harris, they have Millsap, and they also have Jokic. Kevin Knox, a perfect fit for them. He can come in. He won't have a lot of pressure on him instantly. He can play a little bit more of a 3-and-D kind of role and shoot the ball as well. He can also play the 4 based off of his size when Millsap needs a rest or even when they want to go small and have either Jokic and Knox or Millsap and Knox. This would be a good fit for them overall. I think his versatility would help the Nuggets in a lot of areas that they just simply didn't have this year.
All right, let's recap then our NBA mock draft following the lottery. Harris, we'll read the top 5. I'll give you one note on just one player on that list there. Suns go Luka, Kings go Ayton, Hawks get Bagley, Grizzlies go Jackson, Mavs get Bamba. One quick note on those 5.
One quick note on these 5 is that I feel terrible for the Grizzlies because those top 3 guys are without a question the number 1, 2, and 3 guys in this draft. After that, there's another 4 guys that could go at number 4. Bad for the Grizzlies.
All right, 6 through 10, the Magic get the sharpshooter Trae Young. Bulls get Wendell Carter. Cavs get Michael Porter. Knicks get Mikal Bridges. And the Sixers take Colin Sexton. One quick thought.
One quick thought is that the Cavs, if they lose LeBron James, they're bringing in a guy, Michael Porter Jr., who can realistically be the next face of their franchise. I know that's a little outlandish to say, but if Michael Porter Jr. can stay healthy and live up to his potential, he's going to be a really, really good NBA player. But again, the health is so key.
And then your bottom 4 picks there in terms of the draft lottery: Miles Bridges, Robert Williams, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a.k.a. SGA, and Kevin Knox at 14.
Kevin Knox going to the Nuggets, I think, makes them a playoff team. It gives them a lot of versatility that they just haven't had. Wilson Chandler isn't the best defender and can't play the 4, and Kenneth Reed can't shoot. So Kevin Knox gives them the best of both worlds with those guys and gives them a really good player on the wing.